And it's not about black or brown. It's not about white or yellow. It's about human. It's about one class that's oppressing another class. It's about one class that doesn't want another class here. That's period. So if we're going to come together, if we're going to protest, we're going to have an end game. And the first thing we're going to have to do is stop marching around here like we're going to ask a system that was built on genocide, terrorism, racism, murder of indigenous people. All of these things they were built on. This is how they made sense. So you can't ask the system to turn its lifeline on. You got to turn the system on for it. That's why I say there's no such thing as reforming the system when the stuff that you want to reform is what this place is built on. The only resolution is revolution. And the only time that you can have a revolution out here is if you have a revolution in your mind. And in the way you think, and in your thought process, and how you look at your neighbors, and how you look at your friends, and how you look at your people. That's a revolution. A revolution happens in the mind first. And the first part of a revolution that you need to understand is you need to know your enemy. And your enemy is not you and me. Your enemy is on Wall Street. Your enemy is in the Los Angeles Police Department. Your enemy is the Pentagon. Your enemy is in Washington. Your enemy is not your enemy. Your enemy doesn't live in your enemy.
Your enemy is on the record.
Your enemy goes.
Y'all listen to all this bullshit ass music. That's not promoting nothing good for us.
We're at here right now. Not one of them has come up and said, hey man, you know what? All those dead black kids and dead brown girls, that's messed up. Not one of them. They're here to control us. Make sure we don't tear down the gap. That's why they're here. They're not here for any other reason than to control us. So what we have to do, you and me, is forget our differences, forget our religion, forget our classes, forget our cousins, and come together for something that's bigger than you and me. And it doesn't end today because the war on us will not end today. The war on our class will not end today. So we're going to have to come up with a strategy, a program, because we're being annihilated. You can't even say we're in a war, because in a war, both sides are fighting. Both sides are captive. This is a genocide. This is a genocide. You got to call it what it is. It's terrorism. It's terrorism in the United States. Hold on, that's terrorism. And that's all I have to say, is that we need to start to look at each other and separate our differences. Come together on paper, our similarities. And right now, our biggest similarities is we have a common obsession. We have a common experience. This should be our number one priority. We have a common enemy. And anybody who says that they're their enemy is a friend of mine. You gotta believe it. Because the bottom line is, if we are American citizens, we are entitled to the same justice that they give a police dog when you shoot a police dog. We need the same thing. Here comes the control team. We need to run. We need to run. I'm saying too much truth. I'm not telling you to go kill the police. I'm telling you we need to organize. We need to strategize. We need to come together. We need to come together. Do you see what the police are doing right now? This is organization. The police are organized. Your oppressor is organized. The only way you're going to survive is if you get organized too. Period. This can't be said. It's not about justice. We know it's not going to get better. We did the same thing last year with Trayvon Martin. We did the same thing last year.
Don't be scared. Together we got power.
I can tell by looking in the faces of these men that these men are just doing their job. These men are doing their job. Some of these men have conscience, but sometimes they bigger than you. Sometimes it's bigger than you. You see what they did to Christopher Garner? He opened his mouth. He was on that TV.
Put your gun down and put your truck up.
All we ask is when other police officers are going to cry out and say, hey, maybe we're a little trigger happy. Maybe we understand a little bit. Maybe all of you aren't criminals and thugs and gangbangers and drug dealers messing up the community. Maybe we're not all like that. Maybe some of us have an education. Maybe that 12-year-old boy that was shot down with that toy gun had a mom who had plans for him. So until we address the terrorism in our own country, we can't address the terrorism anywhere else. How are you going to go tell your neighbor that his grass is overgrown and your front yard looks like a forest is overtaken? How can you do it? It's hypocritical. I say this whole establishment is hypocritical. And this is nothing but terrorism. It's nothing but terrorism. And it needs to be addressed. And it needs to be addressed.
Where's the button, bro?
Yeah, take a piece of chalk, draw on the ground.
Take a piece of chalk, draw on the ground, draw your thoughts out. If you don't have a voice, you'll have a voice on the ground.
Stop police terrorism.
Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Stop police terrorism. Children! When children are off limits to murder, you cannot trust the system that's supposed to protect you. You cannot trust the system that is supposed to protect you when it's the same people who are murdering children. Innocent lives. They took the man. They took the man. They took the man on camera. On camera. On camera! If I committed any crime on camera right now, I'd be in jail for life. If I snatched somebody's purse right now, and somebody here had an iPhone and they recorded it, I wouldn't make it to the end of the fucking block. They killed the man on camera. The whole world saw a man